So from the day that I was elected, I knew that if I was re-elected at subsequent congresses, the outside limit of my leadership term would be 2017-2018, the Congress that was scheduled in terms of the DA's constitution for that year. In the last few years, I have often asked myself whether I should stay till then, or whether the party would benefit from fresh blood to remain exciting, to remain relevant, and to grow its support base to build the non-racial centre of South African politics, which is where the real growth needs to happen and will happen in our politics. And facing the upcoming Congress, I have spent months wondering whether it is time to go now or whether I should wait 2 more years. And this last week I came to the conclusion that while May 2015 may be slightly early, and I think it is slightly early to go, I also believe that the Congress in 2017-2018 may be slightly too late. And frankly, when given the choice of being slightly too early in taking a major decision or slightly too late, I would personally prefer to be ahead of my time. And so I have therefore decided that I will not be making myself available for re-election at the Congress on May the 9th. This decision has paradoxically been a long time in coming, but when the time was right and when I felt it was right, it was taken quickly, even suddenly. On Thursday last week, and it was only on Thursday last week, I took a firm decision that I would not stand for re-election as leader next month. And in fact, I convened the Federal Executive today to discuss that, and we had a long, in-depth discussion. And they're here with me today, and I'm extraordinarily grateful to them for their support. The overriding reason for my decision has been what I truly believe are the best interests of the Democratic Alliance, and over and above that, the best interests of South Africa. Because believe me, it is in the best interests of South Africa that the Democratic Alliance, building the non-racial, open centre of South African politics, wins an election and can govern in the interests of all. That is in the overwhelming interest of all South Africans who seek a better life for every person. And so my interest is motivated primarily by what is in the interest of the future of this country, of our constitution, of our democracy, and I believe that the DA is the champion of that cause. Currently, we are a party nationally in opposition, although we are a party of government in local authorities and in a province. And it is essential for a party in opposition to grow at every election. It is absolutely essential. And while I do believe we would have continued growing under my leadership in the 2016 local government election, which is just a year away, I'm convinced that our prospects are even better under a fresh team armed with our new values charter that we're going to be launching at our Congress on May the 9th, because there are so many South Africans across so many political parties that share the same values and that need to mobilize and come together behind those values at the moderate, non-racial centre of South African politics. As we all know, South Africa is in a race against time to save our Constitution. We are in a race against time to ensure that our democracy succeeds. And we cannot waste a single minute or a single vote. And that is the work that we have been all doing in the Democratic Alliance, and that we all will continue to do in the interests of the future of this country. An advantage of my late decision is that the campaign that will determine the DA's next leader will be short and sharp, given that our elective Congress is 4 weeks away. This avoids the potential for a debilitating contest that deflects attention and effort away from the party's core functions, which inevitably happens when a leadership race drags out for long periods of time. If I had been re-elected at next month's Congress, I can tell you the very next day, the succession battle for a new leader in 2017-2018 would have begun, and we would have had a leadership race lasting 2 years. Now, my decision last week wasn't determined by that fact. This happens to be a helpful byproduct of my decision that we will not have a debilitating and divisive leadership contest that lasts for 2 years and that distracts our attention from what we need to be doing, which is communicating our vision and our values and our message to the voters in order to save South Africa's democracy and our Constitution. That is our job. And so we can have a short and sharp election campaign for my successor, which will then afterwards, on May the 10th, enable us to unite behind a new leadership team, and I stress it will be a team, and move into the future to do the job that we were elected by 4 million voters to do in the last election, and to continue doing that job to the best of our ability as a united team, as a team building the one stable, foundation-based party, values-driven party in South Africa, and that is the Democratic Alliance. Of course, my role won't cease. I will continue to work unceasingly for democracy in South Africa. Indeed, that has been my life's work up till now, since I was a schoolgirl, literally, and that was more years ago than many of you have been alive. So it has been my life's work, and I shall continue to do that, not only in my role as Premier of the Western Cape, which will continue, but also in any other role that the DA believes that I could play constructively in the new leadership team's vision for the future. As usual, with every difficult decision, and believe me, this has been a very difficult decision for me, there will be those who agree with it, and there will be those who do not. But as I know the DA, believe me, as I know this DA, we will all swing behind the team that is elected on May the 9th. We will all give advice and speak our minds, because in this party everyone has a point of view and everyone is enabled and empowered to speak their minds in the appropriate forums. But whether we agree or not with the decision I have taken or the outcome of our Congress, I have absolutely no doubt at all that we will support our new leader and the new leadership team in just the way that I have always felt supported, and for which I am profoundly and truly grateful. And I would like to thank my colleagues very much for the support they've given me over these 8 years. Thank you very much.